So, hi guys. This is the paper review for 2021 February-March Mathematics. And I gotten this paper from one of my students, and the marking scheme is still not released yet. So what you're seeing now is actually a answer I came up with my own. It might not be accurate. If you notice any issue, feel free to leave it in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get started. So over here, the first question, they want us to complete the statement. The diagram has a rotational symmetry of order. This one, I will actually fill it up as 2. Okay, because if let's say you selected one of the point as your point of reference, let's say this, when you rotate it 90 degree, it will appear somewhere around here. Okay, which is not the answers that you wanted. So over at 180 degree, then it fulfills the entire shape. They are the same now, and also 360 degree only. So the correct answer of this will be 2, while the line of symmetry over here, you actually have 2 of it as well. Okay, it's kind of crooked, just like the paper 4, because this is not the official release. So the way they scan is actually kind of bad. So if I were to draw the line of symmetry, it might look something like this here. Okay. So this is the one of the line, and the other one will be over here. So there will be 2 of it to be exact. So the line that you're seeing now is kind of slanted because the document itself is already been slanted. So I hope you understand on this weird drawings here. That will be your line of symmetry. As for part 2, they want you to calculate both how much did Sahil and Anika receive. So all you need to do for this is to find the total ratio first. The total ratio can be obtained by taking 5 plus 8. With this, you actually get it as 13. So to find the share that Sahil gotten, all you need to do is take 78 multiply with 5 over 13. While for Anika, all you need to do is 78 multiply with 8 over 13. So with this, you should be able to obtain your results as 30 and 48 respectively. Okay, that should be your results. Over in part 3, the numbers of passengers on the bus is recorded each day for 14 days. Okay, so you have to kind of arrange them up. So you got 15 over here. Remember, do not put the comma sign. Simply leave some spacing will do. So you got 7 and 8 and 2 9s over here. So all this was being sorted out. Moving on, we have 22 and 224 here. So there would be 2 4. Okay, and we have 25. With that out of the way, and also a 29. Luckily I didn't overlook it. And we got 31, 35, 36 and 38. So that's pretty much it for your answer here in part A. And to find the median, all you need to do is actually, this is what I would do. Okay, I cut one from the top, one from the front. Okay, as you proceed, you should be able to get your results as 24. Okay, because there are even numbers results here. So the exact value is actually 24 plus 24 divided by 2. And you get your final answer as 24. Okay. Moving on, we have our question 4 here. Okay, make sure you correct everything into one significant figures first before solving this. So they're expecting you to write 3 times 80 divided by 28 minus 14. So 3 times 80 is about 240, while the balance here is actually 14. So when you take 240 divided by 14, the answer that you should be getting is 120 over 7, which translates into 17.14. So if you were to correct it to 3 significant figures, then the result should be 17.1. It's kind of odd because normally when we do estimation question, the result should be whole number. Maybe this is a way they wanted to test you out. I'm not sure, but this would be the results that I'll be writing in. The numbers of bowls of hot soap sold decrease when the temperature rises. Okay, so when you notice one was decreasing, one was increasing, the correlation here will be negative. Moving on to question 6. 5 over 24 of 1 week's earnings to buy a jacket. So total earnings will be here, and 5 over 24 of it is worth 56.50. So to get to the money, all you need to do is to take 56.5 divide by 5 over 24. The results that you are getting here will be 271.2 to be exact. Okay, for those who wish to verify, you can always take these results that you counted, multiply by 5 over 24. You should be able to get the price of the jacket amount at 56.50. Question 7 without using a calculator. So this is the typical question. First, you need to convert everything that is mixed numbers into improper fraction first. So you should be having 2 times 4 plus 1 multiplying with 3 times 3 times plus 2. So with this, you should be getting 9 over 4 followed by 11 over 3. So 9 and 3 is actually related. You should get the balance of 3 after the simplification process. And you will get 33 over 4. So 33 over 4, you can always key in this into a calculator and make it into mixed number by pressing Shift and SD sign over there. So the exact results that they are looking at should be 8, 1 over 14. So do remember about this. You can always verify whether your calculation is correct by keying the entire thing into your calculator. They won't stand next to you and check what you're using your calculator or not. Okay, so you're actually allowed to use it for double checking. So 8, 1 over 4 will be your final answer. So next question here, question 8, recurring decimals. Okay, so what this means is that it is repeating the 37 unlimitedly. So in order to calculate it in fraction, I'll be using 100, okay, which convert everything into 3737. Okay, the difference here will get you a balance of 37, as the part that's repeating will be cancelled off while you're taking them minus of each other. So 99x equals to 37. So to find the fraction, all you need to take is 37 divided by 99. You should be able to get your answer. Okay, there's nothing to further simplify, and that will be it. Give your answer in standard form. Okay, question 9 now. So to make the calculation possible, you must always make the part that is 10 equals to each other. For those who is wondering how, I'll be shifting this and get 0.48 times 10 to the power of 7 plus 3.7 times 10 to the power of 7. So since they both are the same now, you can just add them up. You should get your results as 4.18 times 10 to the power of 7. For those who is using a better calculator, you can always just key in this into a calculator to verify the answer. And you should be getting 418,000,000. So by shifting it 7 times, you will get the same answer. Okay, so that should be it for question 9 here. Moving on, we have our question 10, which is assessing you on a bearings question. Bearing M from L is actually 103. So this is what they're telling us. From the north point to here is 103. So equilateral triangle, okay, this is the key information, which tells us that this is actually 60, 60, and also 60 here. But it might not be helpful if you were to write everything down. Okay, so instead of confusing myself, I'll be erasing the last 260 that I've written, and I add a line over here. It would be easier to see if you were to use accurate straight line. Okay, and also one over here. Okay, so with this out of the way, work out the bearing of L from N. Alright, so actually can identify it right away. Reason being, you have to focus on this particular part here. So this entire angle can be reflected to here through alternate concept. So this part would actually be 103 plus 60, which is 163. Okay, and remember, one whole straight line will result in 180, and the bearing of it should be 180 plus 163. So you will get your final results as 343 degrees. That's how you solve question 10 over here. Moving on, we have our question 11, testing you on highest common factor. So you write down 36 and 84. Okay, I'll be testing out 4 first. You should get 9 and 21. Then you test out 3. So that should be it. The HCF of this will be 4 times 3, which is 12. Okay, the highest common factor. Moving on, we have question 12 over here. Work out the area of this particular shape. They mentioned it was a right angle, which means this part here would be 90 because 180, which is a straight line AC here. So with this out of the way, they want you to use the radius concept to identify this part is actually 5. So the entire shape consists of part 1 over here and part 2, which is the circle. Okay, sector of a circle here. So for part 1's calculation, it goes by 1 over 2 times 6 times 5, adding up with our 90 over 360 times pi times 5 square. So with this, you should be able to get your answers as 34.6 after correcting it to 3 significant figures. So this is for your question 12. Moving on, we have question 13. Immediately, I noticed there was a keyword here that goes by decreasing exponentially. This is to remind us the use of compound formula. Okay, so at the end of 2014, this will be our initial point where we start. Okay, remember the formulas goes by 100%. Since they mentioned decrease exponentially, I'll be using 34% here. So from 2014, okay, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So there will be a 5 years gap. So with this, 125.9 times 100% minus 34% to the power of 5, you should be getting your results as 15.76686713, which results in 15.8 million. Okay, so this should be your final results for this particular question here. Moving on, we have first 4 terms of a sequence, identifying the next 2 terms. So I'll be checking their difference here. Okay, they are all constant changes, which is 7. Okay, and I notice I've written it wrongly. It's minus 7, not plus 7. So if this out of the way, the next term should be 8 minus 7, which is 1. And from 1 minus another 7, it should be negative 6. So this will be your next 2 terms results. In B, this is the first 5 terms of another sequence. So I find the difference here first. For me to get from 4 to 7, it's actually adding with 3. 7 to 12 is actually adding with 5. 7 to 9 is adding with 7. 28 from 19 is actually adding with 9. So their difference is not constant here. I noticed that their gap is all having 2. So with this, I know that I need to use my favorite formula here to identify geometric sequence. So 2a equals to the 2 at the bottom. A should be 1, while 3a plus b equals to the triangle 3 over there. Right. So your b will be 0, and your last one, which is a plus b plus c, it will equals to 4. So our a is 1, b is 0, c is 4 minus 1, which is 3. So with this, remember to key in into the main formula here. Okay, your ABC that you identified. Your final result should be n squared plus 3. So this will be the n terms of this particular question. Moving on, we have a circle theorem question here. So the statement ET is a tangent to the circle of E is actually to confuse you, because there's no 90 degrees that you can identify from here, since there's no diameter or radius that was being shown. Okay, they didn't mention these 2 words, which means you cannot use that concept at all. However, there might be something that you can use, which is this 47 degree. Okay, because your angle FET will be equals to FHE. Okay, so with that out of the way, you can also notice that this part, the 25, can be used over here. Okay, because angle from the same segment. So if you wonder the details, it goes by FEG equals to angle FHG. So with this, you can now use your isosceles concept. This will be 47 plus 25. And to find your x, okay, so 47 plus 25 is actually 72. So 72 plus 72 plus x equals 180. X equals 180 minus 2 times 72, which is 36. So that's how you identify x value. Okay, it's kind of tricky because they purposely include this statement here to throw you off. Okay, so it doesn't really help because there's no radius and diameter, like I said earlier. Moving on, we have question 16. Alright, so this is actually a inequalities question. Okay, been a while since they last appeared. So they say y is more than 1. Because of the graph is slanted already, the things that I'm drawing now might not be as accurate. But remember, the line that you're drawing must be dotted line because they use the y less, y more than. So if they wanted y more than 1, they are referring to the upper part of this graph. And the other thing they wanted is from the statement y equals to 2x plus 2. So with this, I actually have to make up random points so that I know how to illustrate them out. So if let's say x is 0 today, your y will be 2, while your y is 0, your x will be -1. So with these 2 points, you should be able to draw out your results. Okay, -1 is over here. So this will be the line, where the line located at. Okay, same thing, the line should be dotted because they mentioned that it is less than, okay, not less than, equals to. So I'm erasing it and making it a dotted line. Then the last part, I'll be using a different color again so that you can see it clearly. So we got y equals to -x plus 3. Okay, I shift the x there to make it into y equals to mx plus c's format so that you can identify it easier. So we have xy here. When x is 0, y is 3. While when your y is 0, your x is supposed to be 3 as well. So 0, 3 and 0, 3. So put in the rulers. So this time around, it is less than equals to. So the line that I'm drawing now can be a solid line. Okay, so this is the line that I drew. So let's double check what they wanted. So they wanted y less than 3. So it should be going down. While this, on the other hand, they wanted y less than 2. It should be going down as well. So the only part that fit into the range will be this. This will be our region that satisfied all 3 inequalities. Question 17. Okay, they want to identify how many bags was in the school. Okay, let me see. The mean numbers is 7. So all you need to do for this is just by taking 5 times 4, adding up with 6 times 5, plus 7 times x, plus 8 times 11, plus 9 times 7, and also 10 times 5. So all this thing here divided by the total frequency, which we don't know yet, and you have to find it by taking 4 plus 5 plus x plus 11 plus 7 plus 5, and it will be equals to 7.6. So with this, let's calculate it first. 32 plus x over here, 5 times 4 plus 6 times 5 plus 8 times 11 plus 9 times 7 should be 251 plus 7x equals to 7.6. So with this, 251 plus 7x equals to 7.6 times 32. You should get 243.2 plus 7.6x. So it's easier if you take this and swap them out. You should get 0.6x here, while on the other hand, after you identify the difference, you will get 7.8. So 7.8 divided by 0.6, your x here will be resulting in 13. So 13 will be your final answer for this particular part. Moving on to question 18. Okay, we're almost at the end of this paper already. So the power here wasn't that clear, but if you were to look into it, I assume that they are having a 2/3 there. So all you need to do is to key in this and key in this. Okay, into a calculator. So you got 343 to the power of 2/3. Should be 49. While on the other hand, quite obvious, is x to the power of 6. Okay, this is some basic indices question. So question 19. Okay, this is the new types of simultaneous equation where it is slightly troublesome. Okay, so if I were you, I'd be choosing my y as subject. So from 1, if let's say I wanted to make them my subjects, I should be shifting the y to the other side. So my y is actually x minus 7. So substitute 3 into 2. You should get your results as x squared plus x minus 7 equals to 149. X squared plus x minus 149 minus 7, it should be negative 156. So with this, when you factorize it, you will get your results as x minus 12 and x plus 13, which will result in x equals to 12 or x equals to negative 13. So this is not done yet because you have to list down all the answers. So when x is 12, okay, I will substitute into your 1, a into 3. Substitute into 3. So y will be 12 minus 7. Your results here should be 5. When your x is negative 13, substitute into 3 as well. Your y's result should be negative 13 minus 7, which is negative 20. So if you were to update it, it's 12 and 5, negative 13, negative 20, to secure the full 5 marks over here. Moving on, we have question 20, where it involves mathematically similar. So you take 1.61 over 2.8 and compare it to the other triangle. We have x and 3.2. By cross multiplying it, you should be able to get your results as, okay, take 3.2 times 1.61, it will be 5.152, and dividing this by 2.8, you will get 1.84 as your final answer. This is for part A. So for part B, on the other hand, there's two ways to solving this. Either you use the skill factor way or the comparison way. And things to take note is that there is a capacity involvement here. So if you use the comparison way like what I did here, remember for capacity you must always cube root the results. So the larger bowls goes by cube root of 7.8 over 11.5, and you have cube root of 4 over the height of the smaller bowl here. Cross multiply them, then you should be able to get your results by keying in this. The answer should be 9.2 to be exact. Okay, so that's how you solve part B here. Moving on, we have our question 21, where it involves you to draw out the value. So first of all, for sure there will be no 0 in the first one, because if your x is 0, okay, it will be invalid. So even if you were to test it out, do not go and insert 0 there. So if x is 1, your y will also be 1. When x is 2, your y will be 0.5. If it's -1, you should get -1. So with this information, I roughly know that the graph would look something like this. And on the other hand, it will look something like this. Okay. Maybe not so much at the side. Let me move it a little bit closer. Yes, something like this will do. So that's how you illustrate your 21A's graph. Okay, moving on, we have 21B here. If you were to draw it out, okay, same thing. I'll be testing out a few figures here. X and Y. Let's say when it is 1, you should get 1. When it is 1, then you get 4. When it's 2, then you get 16. So I know that it's obviously something like this, but okay, it's going up here maybe, but that's not enough, because we need to have a look at the negative sides as well. So if we got -1, then you got 0.25. -2, then you got something lesser, I think. Okay, 0.0625. Okay. So maybe I will draw something like this. It's intersecting at 1 for sure. So when I draw it out, it should get closer and closer and closer to the line here, but never intersecting with it, I think. So for those who is wondering why, let me explain. Okay. Okay. So because if you were to use log, you get 4 as your base. And if let's say you set your y equals to 0, then you get your x. So this will give you math error, which indicates that they will be never touching at 0. It only gets lesser and lesser and closer to the x-axis, but never touches it. So this is how you draw out your y equals to 4 to the power of x. Question 22. A bag of rice has a mass of 25 kg, corrected to the nearest kilogram, and they ask you to find if it's 10. So 1 kg, remember to divide it by 2, which is 0.5. 25 minus 0.5 and multiply it by 10. You should be getting your results as 245 kilogram. 200 meters corrected to the nearest meters. So 1 meters divided by 2, which is 0.5 meters. And cut into the pieces of length in 3 meters. Okay, corrected to the nearest 20 cm. So 20 cm, make sure you convert it into meters first by taking it and divide it by 100. And remember to multiply by 1/2 on this. Okay, to find the rounding value. So you should be getting 0.1 on this for the RV. So all this is your RV. So to find the largest possible numbers, which means your numerator must be higher, while your denominator must be lower, so that you can get the highest possible results. So the 200 meters, you have to add it with 0.5, while the 3 meters on the other end should be minus by 0.1. So So with this calculation, you should be getting your results as 69.13793,103, which is 69 only. Okay, so that should be your 22's part B's answer. Moving on, we have question 23 here. Okay, calculate the angles of VC mixed with the base. Okay. So to find that, we actually need AC's value first. Okay, so I'll be taking this triangle out in particular. Since we have 10 and 12. Okay, by using our Pythagoras theorem, you should be able to get your results of this as 2 square root 61. And dividing by 2, you should get each part of AM as 61 and MC as 61 square root. So with that, you can now proceed with your calculation on your VC's M, okay, which is the angle that they wanted. By focusing on VCM, okay, this particular angle, 14 will be your hypotenuse, while your square root 61 is actually your adjacent. So with this, by using cosine, okay, VCA or VCM, up to you, equals to square root 61 over 14. So angle VCM will be cos inverse square root 61 over 14. Your answer should be 56.1 degree after correcting it to 1 decimal place. So that should be it for question 23 here. Moving on, we have our last question of the paper. Okay, they want us to identify the stationary points here. For this, you have to use your differentiation. So your dy dx will goes by taking out the power from here, okay, the 3, multiply with 1 because there's nothing here, so I leave it as 1. And after every time you pluck out anything from the power, it will be decreased by 1. So repeat again, bring out the 2 that was here. Okay, 2 times 2. The 2 is actually this 2 that was originally here. So the x will be minus by 1 again. So the 5 will be automatically gone because 5 is actually paired with x to the power of 0. So when you take out 0, 0 multiplied with 5, you get 0 on this. So the results that you should be getting will be 3x squared minus 4x. Okay. And to find turning point, please remember, turning point is when dy dx equals to 0. So you got your 3x squared minus 4x equals to 0. Factorize it. Take out the x. You will get this results here. So x will be 0 or 3x minus 4 equals to 0. X equals to 4 over 3. So you got 2 temporary results here. That goes like this. So you got your 2 points. One is 0, one is 4 over 3. So to find your y's value, when x is 0, y is actually 0 cubed minus 2 0 squared plus 5, which is 5 for this. When x is 4 over 3, however, your y's value will be this. Double check through your calculator. It should be 103 over 27. So it's kind of weird, but this is the solution to it, and you will get your answer as shown. So that's pretty much it for this paper. So this is actually one of the papers that has a lot of the new topics. Okay, so do take this as a practice, and yeah, that's pretty much it for this. So if you notice any issue, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So thank you for watching. All the best for your upcoming examination. Bye bye.